Good morning. Welcome back to the Chemistry in the Age of AI, the Future of Drug Discovery and Design series. I'm Shifana Sinu, and in today's lecture, we are going to explore the fascinating and often underappreciated intersection of artificial intelligence and molecular dynamics simulations, and how this collaboration is shaping the future of drug design. The main focus of today's discussion will be how AI is enhancing the understanding of molecular interaction and behavior, ultimately informing the development of more effective, efficient, and targeted drugs. Before we dive into the specifics, let's take a step back and remind ourselves of the fundamental goal of drug discovery. We are in the business of identifying molecules that can interact with a specific biological target, such as a protein receptor or enzyme, in a way that alters its function for therapeutic purposes. The process can be a long and complicated one, requiring a deep understanding of how these molecules behave and interact within the complex biological environment of the human body. In the past, we relied heavily on experimental methods, often using trial and error approaches to screen vast numbers of potential drug candidates. While valuable, this traditional method has its limitations in terms of both time and resources. But now, with the advent of AI, we are able to leverage computational techniques like molecular dynamics simulation to streamline and enhance the entire process. Let's start with a quick refresher on molecular dynamics. Molecular dynamics simulations are a type of computational method used to model the physical movements of atoms and molecules over time. By using the laws of physics, these simulations provide a detailed, time evolving picture of how molecules behave in different environments. Think of it as watching a 3D movie of molecules at the atomic level, where you can observe how they move, how they interact with each other, and respond to external forces like temperature or pH. For drug discovery, molecular dynamic simulations are invaluable because they allow us to simulate how a drug molecule interacts with its target, say a protein receptor, at a molecular level. This insight helps us understand binding affinity, conformational changes, and interaction energies between molecules, all of which are critical to determining whether a drug candidate will be effective. But molecular dynamic simulations are not without their challenges. They can be computationally expensive, especially when simulating large systems or long time scales. They also generate enormous amounts of data, much of which can be difficult to interpret without the right tools. This is where AI comes in. The integration of AI into molecular dynamic simulations is a game changer for drug discovery, and here is why. One of the most exciting aspects of AI in molecular dynamics is its ability to accelerate simulations. Traditional molecular dynamics simulations are often limited by the time and computational resources required to run them. AI models, particularly deep learning algorithms, can learn from vast datasets of molecular simulation and predict molecular behavior without the need for exhaustive calculations. This significantly reduces the computational cost and time required to obtain use insights, making simulation more accessible and practical for high throughput drug discovery. It can also improve the predictivity accuracy of MD simulations. By analyzing large datasets of molecular interactions, AI algorithms can uncover patterns that human researchers might overlook. For example, AI models can learn which molecular features are most likely to lead to strong binding interaction with a target protein. With this knowledge, researchers can make more informed decisions about which molecules to pursue as drug candidates, speeding up the early stages of the drug discovery process. In drug design, understanding how a molecule binds to its target is critical. AI can help optimize these interactions by identifying the best binding modes and conformations of a drug molecule. For example, a machine learning model could predict how small changes in the chemical structure of a molecule might affect its binding affinity to a target protein. This allows for the design of molecules that fit more precisely into their binding sites, increasing their chances of being effective drugs. AI's ability to analyze large datasets also means that it can sift through libraries of molecules to identify potential drug candidates more quickly than traditional methods. Once an AI model has been trained on non-molecular interactions, it can predict which other untested molecules are most likely to interact with a target protein in a similar way. This ability to screen molecules virtually means we can shorten the time needed to find promising drug candidates, reducing the cost and risk associated with early stage drug discovery. Molecular dynamics simulation also help us understand how molecules behave in complex biological environments. For example, proteins are often dynamic molecules, constantly changing shape and interacting with other molecules in the cell. Molecular dynamic simulations give us insights into how protein fold and how they change shape in response to ligands and how they might interact with other protein or cellular components. This is essential for understanding disease mechanism and for designing drugs that can effectively target the right protein at the right time. AI can enhance this process by helping to interpret the vast amounts of data generated by molecular dynamic simulations. Instead of manually sifting through thousands of simulation results, AI algorithms can analyze this data more efficiently, identifying trends and correlations that inform drug design. For example, AI can predict how a protein might shift its shape when a drug binds to it, or it can identify hotspots where drugs are most likely to bind. Additionally, AI's capacity to learn from multiple types of data, from experimental results to clinical outcomes, means that simulation can become even more reflective of real world conditions. This gives researchers a clearer picture of how drugs will behave in human bodies and how they might interact with other compounds or tissues. So, how does AI and molecular dynamics fit into the broader drug discovery pipeline? Essentially, AI acts as a powerful tool that supports multiple stages of the pipeline, from initial screening of drug candidates to predicting their behavior in clinical trials. In the early stages, AI and molecular dynamic simulations helps identify drug-like molecules and predict their interaction with biological targets. During optimization, AI models can help refine those molecules to enhance binding affinity, selectivity, and efficacy. As we move further along the pipeline, AI can assist with predicting drug toxicity, evaluating drug resistance, and even identifying biomarkers that can get clinical trials. With the ability to analyze and predict complex molecular behaviors quickly and accurately, AI is streamlining the entire process. What once took years of manual labor, trial and error, and vast computational resources can now be accomplished with greater precision and speed, paving the way for the faster development of more effective drugs. In conclusion, the collaboration between AI and molecular dynamics is revolutionizing the way we approach drug design, accelerating simulations, improving predictions, optimizing drug target interactions, and identifying new target candidates. AI is playing a critical role in developing drugs that are not only more effective but also safer and better tailored to individual patients. As we continue to integrate AI into the molecular dynamic process, we can expect to see even greater advances in how we design and optimize therapeutic agents. The synergy between AI and traditional methods is assuring a new era of precision medicine, one where drugs are most more efficient, more targeted, and ultimately more transformative for patients. Thank you for tuning to this lecture and see you in next lecture.